Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Antonio's Movie Reviews. Today I have the 1984 movie Body Double, directed by Brian De Palma and starring Craig Wasson, Melanie Griffith, and Deborah Shelton. This neo-noir reminded me a lot of a Hitchcock movie with a lot of sensuality to it. I thought De Palma was very daring to make this movie only 1 year after Scarface. With a movie such as that to follow in the footsteps of, it's no wonder that this movie took a while to grow on folks. I enjoyed the characters in this movie, but Melanie Griffith definitely stole the show here. This is the earliest movie I've seen of hers, although I've been a fan since the movie Working Girl in 1988. This movie even fooled me, I won't lie. It has great twists in my opinion. The premise is sort of simple, at least I thought it was. A down-on-his-luck actor is offered a place to live where he embarks on a journey of voyeurism that ends up being more than meets the eye. It was indeed a very stylish movie, I will give it that. The film, in my opinion, could have done much better with the casting of Wasson. I could imagine someone like Peter Gallagher having done this film a justice. Talk about having your ego ripped apart. You may remember Craig Wasson mostly from his role in The Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The character he played was Neil Gordon. Having not seen Rear Window nor Vertigo, once again I feel as if some people may not say I could do this movie true justice with regard to a review, but as a proponent of the neo-noir genre, I think I'm well inclined to review a movie of this stature. Body Double tops many lists in terms of must-see erotic thriller films, and I think that this very much deserves to be held in that regard.
You two know each other? Jake,
No.
Scully, Sam Bouchard.
Scully.
Yeah.
Scully.
Right here. I'll see you in...
Vampire's Kiss. Sounds interesting.
Jake. Hi.
What I liked a lot about this film is its story. It really is entrancing in a way. I know I previously mentioned that the movie could have done better than to cast Craig Wasson, but his character in a way is both comical when we need that, as well as tense enough to make the dramatic scenes work. The role of the silly vampire that Wasson was fired from just immediately added a lot of fun to the movie for me personally. Being claustrophobic is definitely an idea that will be used in a number of scenes, and Wasson also makes that work quite well.
Oh, man.
Would this be available right away?
Wait here. Let me make a phone call.
I can't believe this. It's unbelievable.
Now, I know it's not much. You think you can handle this for...
I've never seen anything every day after 6. Okay.
That's it?
Hey, listen, Sam. This is really nice of you, man.
This is actually a real property. Deborah Shelton was also amazing as Gloria. The film appears to be considered a B-movie and has its fair share of detractors in reviews I see. The film definitely includes all of the elements of being a classic De Palma neo-noir, but I think people too heavily think he was trying to be too much like Hitchcock.
Jake, I'd like you to meet my favorite neighbor.
Okay.
Gets better.
What she does?
Yes. Yes. Hang on.
There is nothing wrong with paying homage to a great director, but I myself don't believe in stepping in a great man's shoes. One thing I see De Palma doing that was unique was how he managed to blend so many different film elements together. The film has slasher elements to it and spoofs on the adult film industry, which added a lot of style and entertainment to the movie. I kept waiting to find little Easter eggs of Scarface by the middle of the film. The topic of voyeurism has been explored on this channel in a few films, but I'll say this is definitely my favorite, even more than Sliver. I say that because this movie doesn't take itself as seriously like the idea of the neighbor dancing in front of the window at the same time every day.
There's the door. Beat it. Joe, get him out of here. Go on. Beat it. Get out. Get out.
For me, once I saw the look of the disfigured man, which was so obviously a mask, I was hooked in the plot of this film. When Melanie Griffith was introduced in the film as Holly Body, the film became so much more interesting in my opinion. I love how Wasson as Jake Scully is just somehow suddenly wrapped up in this underground world of sleaze by the second act of the movie. It's very captivating.
I've got to talk to someone. Today.
In writing about this movie, I think I may have found an Easter egg I was looking for with Scarface. It's the absurdity that they share, in my opinion. Both movies indeed can be considered very over the top. The movie also has a very modern feel for 1984, especially with Jake staying in the chemosphere, something I'll definitely look for the next time I'm in California. One thing I have to mention that I purely dislike about this film would have to be the title. I feel like it is just too simply revealing. After having seen the movie a few times, the twist in the film was really important in my opinion, and it wouldn't take much to predict what is probably going to happen if one wanted to really figure out the meaning of the title. I just feel like a lot went into this work for it to have such a lackluster title. In reading a lot of De Palma interviews, I gathered that when this movie was released, especially after Carrie, Dressed to Kill, and Scarface, that De Palma had quite a reputation for making controversial films. At the time, his movies were seen as very violent and erotic. Body Double does not lack in either of those two categories, which probably led to its box office demise in 1984. The movie is perceived by most critics at the time as having too much of the two categories, but if there's anything I can mention after seeing Scarface came out before this movie, would be that the chainsaw killing in that film was a bit worse than this one.
Someone's following you.
Hitchcock himself, of course, was known for his movies containing violence against women, but he was so prolific as a director that in my opinion it was more or less okay for his movies, whereas De Palma was a bit more questionable. I call De Palma's work more questionable because it's so clear that his work has been somewhat derived from Hitchcock that you have no choice but to judge it based upon that instead of the contemporary classic.
You take me out of here. Sure.
If you have never seen Rear Window and Vertigo, you will definitely see this movie as a contemporary classic in my opinion. Hitchcock and De Palma have been compared and contrasted in such in-depth analyses that a video of its own could potentially be made about those two directors. It took years for Body Double to actually get the recognition it deserves. Now it's safe to call the film a cult classic in my opinion. Personally, I gained appreciation for De Palma myself after viewing Film Fatale. I did enjoy Scarface.
Oh well, gotta run. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Oh my God! Oh, God!
Seeing such a beautiful woman die in such a horrid way was definitely hard to watch. It's almost as if he was trying to satire Slumber Party Massacre with that scene. In reading a 1984 interview between William Plummer of People magazine and Brian De Palma stated that he got tired of using the usual instruments like knives and ropes in his films. In terms of erotic thrillers, I think I have to rate De Palma as my second favorite director after Adrian Lyne. To be honest, you can say De Palma and Lyne could be responsible for ushering in the genre itself, with of course Dressed to Kill, this film in 1984, and Lyne capping off the late 80s with Fatal Attraction in 1987. Lyne and De Palma also made Unfaithful and Film Fatale, both in 2002 respectively. Those were two of my favorite movies in this genre.
What, do you think he had something to do with it?
As far as I'm concerned, you're the real reason Gloria Revelle got murdered.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Those enterprises.
We have a film, Deep Ghost, The Making.
Well, of course they're out there watching you.
So hot.
Hot? Hey, Deb.
He is mad. Personally, I'm glad to have seen this movie without Hitchcock in mind. It gave me an almost unbiased opinion and allowed me to see the movie for the true classic that it is. The second act of this film, in my opinion, is a lot more immersive. It has a sort of new wave absurdity to it that makes it more fun to watch, at least I thought so anyway. The score of the film goes really well with the framing of the scenes also. The movie is nothing if not entertaining, I would say. It's almost as if you want us to forget about Scarface.
Hey, you were great out there. Really, come on, I'm gonna buy you a drink. Give you points, whatever it takes.
Really?
What I meant about wanting us to forget about Scarface is that I'm sort of thrown off by the jokery of Body Double. I thought Scarface was so masterfully done cinematically that it's hard for me to believe that this was done right after that. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the movie.
Yeah, but I don't know who. Who hired you?
You were the one that I was playing to?
Yeah. Sam Bouchard set this whole thing up. Did he hire you to do your routine? Hold on. Hello?
Hey, Jay.
Night's work, right? You hired to come in, do your routine, and leave. Now, is that true?
Yes.
Do you know why?
Done what you said?
Well, listen, he's a murderer. The man who hired you is a murderer. Here, come here.
At the end, the movie reveals itself and you might find yourself a bit astounded at how simply it all came together as I did. It's hard to believe this movie is from the guy who gave us Carrie.
Excuse me. Stop, please.
I know who killed Gloria Revelle.
Is this a confession?
No! Listen.
Hey, again.
Anyway, now I realize. He was throwing out a net.
Listening.
The part of the witness. He told me that there was this neighbor.
Okay. No! Ollie! Oh, sir, you want to get back?
Although this movie isn't perfect, I definitely found quite a few elements of it to be interesting, and that's without comparing it to any of Hitchcock's films. It had a great style to it, and although there is a bit of nudity, the movie doesn't focus on that to keep your attention. I really enjoyed the cast of this film and the concepts it dealt with, such as voyeurism and satire, along with parody. The movie had a VH1 pop-up video sort of feel to it that really kept me interested in the cinematography of this film. I love the campy feel of it. I also really enjoyed the mashup of movie genres that De Palma was somehow able to squeeze into a film that was less than 2 hours long. I must say this is one movie where you'll also have to watch the end credits to feel fulfilled. That really threw me off and I was sort of mad, but now I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for joining me for my movie review of Body Double, a 1984 film directed by Brian De Palma. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode of Antonio's Movie Reviews, and I'll see you again soon.